How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins that have been submitted to the workshop this last week. And if you're new, just so you know how this works, not all of these skins will be in the store or ever have a chance to make it. Some may not, some may later on, but typically they don't. So 8 to 10 every week, every Thursday, check back then. So starting off, we've got a burlap set, and it can make you look like a sailor. This is Cubit's Sailor Set by Seashells by the Seashore. I'm just at this point, right? But one way or another, it's definitely a pretty cool little set. I could see Hulk saying, maybe it should be a hoodie and pants, but I think it's real nice to see some early burlap stuff too. Next, we've got some hide for you, and it is the Deep Seaweed Hide set. And you've got the vest and the pants, or shorts, whatever you want to call them, complete with seaweed dried and fresh for that extra smell, barnacles and other sea creatures included. Next, we've got a El Bandito set for you with the bandana and poncho, and you can see the whole thing kind of has that little theme going on. You got some chilies and orange and red and green going along with the set. Not too much going on with the bandana, but it fits nicely together. Next, we've got another hide poncho for you, and this one's kind of like a little tiger armored little kind of look to it. This is the Tiger Crown poncho. Next, we've got a simple design, and it's using the Hawaiian pants and the shirt, short sleeve, and shorts instead of pants and hoodie. There we go. Now, with the short sleeve, there's kind of like a weird clipping thing going on at the cuffs, but I don't know if that would be too much of a problem or not. But a lot of people have tried some Hawaiian print stuff in the past. None have really made in. We'll just have to see if this makes it in. Next, we have a hoodie and pants set that's a pretty cool little idea. It looks like a thermal map, so it kind of looks like you're giving off thermal heat and so forth. And there seems to be a handprint of some sort going on back there. But hey, definitely a fun idea for a new hoodie. Speaking of fun ideas, we've got ourselves the Bear version 2. Looks like they worked a little bit on the texture. It has a little bit less of a plastic look to it, and then you've got a little bear back here as the backpack. Definitely a fun set for sure. Next, we got something pretty simple for hoodie and pants, but it is prison gear. It even says #1 Cobalt Prisoner, so hey, there we go. Complete with a chain belt kind of going around the side. Then you've got the Cobalt Prisoner here, written along the back of the hoodie. Next, we got a couple pairs of shoes and boots, and for some reason, both decided to go with leather gloves. Hulk pretty much said a couple years back, don't bother with leather gloves anymore, so I don't mean if that means they're never getting accepted again, but I mean, that was pretty clear, like, you know, do road sign instead. So I don't know if that's going to impact it or not, but the boots definitely look very cool, fit right in with the Abyss update. And as I said, we had a couple different ones here, so as you can see, we have another kind of leather glove and boot combo, and these have more of a kind of diver look to them, and of course are part of the Abyss work boots. Next, we've got some road sign for you. The first one here is the Droid 17 set by Duck, and yeah, it kind of just looks like a cobbled together, all out of scrap kind of road sign set. Fits right into rust, very rusty. And it has a kind of fun little theme with the whole robot droid kind of thing going on. Next, we have a continuation in the concentric metal set, and it seems they're trying out some armor. And yeah, it has a kind of a nice little shininess going on to it. Also looks like it may have a glow, but it thankfully does not, because that's probably the last thing you want when you're hiding out in armor at night. Lastly, this week we have one high qual set for you, and it is pretty familiar looking, or at least should be, as it's part of the Arctic Skull set. And they did a pretty good job with the kind of giving the indented feel with the face mask of a skull without kind of actually, you know, carving what little space there is there. The ribcage looks a little small, which is a little bit weird, but you got this big old spine in the back. And then back here you kind of have like a, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's hair or crushed skull with bones attached to it, but there you have it. Next, we have our deployables, and the first one up should look pretty familiar as it's part of the Glacial Visage set, and of course is therefore the Glacial Visage sleeping bag, and of course it has a awesome glow as you would expect the set, which we'll show you here when we get to that. Next, we have a little tiny box for you, and this one is made to go with the Adobe skins. So, of course, is the Adobe small box. Then over here, we have another addition to the large box set from the CRT set. This one, of course, is ammo. Moving on, we've got a nice little luggage box going on here at the suitcase large box. Then moving on, we've got some more berry boxes with the green and yellow box for you. If you guys are doing a box set too, please try to at least release them 2 at a time, so it's not, you know, like 15 weeks of the same box set kind of thing. So as this video is being done, there happened to be the next week's one put in here, so I just went ahead and put them both here. Next, we've got a wooden box for you, and this is the large OBS box, and the whole thing looks like it is pretty much made out of the compressed wood. Then over here we've got a single furnace for you this week, and it is a cactus furnace for you. Been very different and very many cactus furnace iterations. This one actually looks like the spikes kind of stick up. Has a nice little purple flower at the top, but nothing too special when it comes to the glow. Moving on, we've got a concrete barricade, and you know, they're technically unsupported, but hey, it really goes with the theme. Placing barricades on the tugboats is useful. You never know, so hey, here it is. Moving on, we've got some doors for you. Starting off, we've got some sheet metal disco glow for you with this RGB gaming door. Then we've got another very different kind of door for you, the polystyrene door, or I believe styrofoam would be the same thing. Then over here we've got some more clown stuff for you with the Funhouse mirror door. It comes in 2 versions, bloodied and not, and well, bloodied just felt like it fit with rust so much more. Then we've got an orb for you with the magic orb door. What's the orb do? I don't know. You have to go through the door, I guess. Then we've got a single double sheet metal door for you, the Sacred Tree double door, and this one definitely looks really nice once you kill the lights. We also have some garage door fun for you. The first one here is the Rampage garage door. Definitely loving the art on this set. Then we've got a very pearly door for you with the Pearl Wall garage door. And then we've got one garage door. This was kind of a border one because it kind of has a lot going on. Hulk doesn't really like that. And then you can see through the sides, which is really different. But because that's so different and no one else has really done a whole lot of that, I figured we'll might as well throw it in there and just, hey, we'll see if Hulk does anything. Next, we've got some armored single doors for you. The first one is going along with the Abyss theme and is the Deep Sea Armor Door version 2. Then we'll go ahead and take a look at the back. Moving on, we've got a tugboat armor door for you, which of course is perfect because everyone's slapping these down onto their tugboats, as it is the highest tier protection door you can put on them. Then over here we've got a kind of more stylized door with the Imperial Armored Door. Pretty much about the same on both sides. And then we've got a very groovy kind of wacky color door for you with the Chameleon Pigment Door. So let's go ahead and kill our lights and we'll cruise on down all the way to our first garage door, which, I mean, the glow on that does look really cool. Then we've got that double door, and look at that. There's something about that blue. Nice glow here with the purple as well. Funhouse door. We've got the gaming door. And we can cruise to our furnace, which, like I said, not really a whole lot of anything special going on. And we've got some glow on the CRT box. And of course, that sleeping bag. Alright, let's get to our tools and weapons, and we've got a couple rocks for you. The first one here is another attempt at a deflated basketball, and this one, the texture just looks really great. So hey, we'll just have to see. Eventually we'll get some sort of ball rock again, I guess. Next, we've got the sulfur rock for you, and this is a nice little continuation of the different ore rocks, and yeah, it just looks so nice. You can go collect some sulfur with your sulfur. Next up, we've got another silly rock for you. This one's the beaver rock. And you can see the silly little tail, and you kind of stick your finger in their eye, but hey, you know, there you go. Next, moving on, we've got a hatchet and pickaxe tool set for you, and these are the royal tools. And yep, there's that pickaxe. It was being a little slow there. Definitely a nice, beautiful set. Last for our tools, we have a jackhammer for you. They don't pop in too often, and this one kind of has a different little vibe going on. It is the nuclear core jackhammer. Next, we've got some bows for you, and this first one is very regal. It's got this, like, jade is green, ruby eye, and some gold carved out eagle face and everything. This is the Aztec bow. You can even see there's like a little Aztec like charm or something going on right there. And there's a bit of cutout to the bow as well. Next, we've got another bow for you with another clever design, and this one looks like it's an instrument. This is the instrumental bow, and you can see it has the little strings and everything. It could be like a violin or a guitar, or I don't know, maybe it's a ukulele, who knows. Definitely a funny idea. Next, we've got a crossy for you, and it should be pretty familiar as it is part of the Rare Flames set. So there you go. Nice gold and flat black trim. Aim down the sights there for you. Next, we've got another crossy, and this one definitely has more of an Egyptian theme. It is the Treasures of Osiris crossbow. It's definitely very, very shiny. And there's that reload. Next, we've got a water pipe for you, and this one has a nice kind of like burn temper tip there. This is the exhaust pipe water pipe. And go ahead and pop a reload there. And there we have it. Next, we have some DBs for you. The first one here has a nice little nautical theme going on. It is the Cannon double barrel shotgun. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some ship wheels. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another one with a theme for you, and this one almost looks like it's made out of cloth, which is very cool. This is the boat double barrel, and it kind of looks like it's made out of like preserving gear, you know, like a, I don't know, floaty raft, or maybe even a life preserver. I don't know. Definitely a cool design, even with the water droplets there. Next, we've got another DB, and this one has a gradient to it, and well, that's simply the name, DBS Gradient. Moving along, we've got a couple of pumpies for you. The first one here has a mummy's hand reaching up at you. This is the Shotgun Mummy. You get it? Shotgun Mummy? Huh. You gotta love the jokes. Then we've got a high qual pumpy for you. Of course, it's part of the high qual collection. Definitely a very shiny pump shotgun. Last in this group, but first in the pistols, we've got a Toxic Python with the Toxic Wolf Python for you. Aiming down the sights here, it's got a very bright sight, but not glowing. It may look like it is, but it doesn't. And there's that reload. Alright, moving along, we've got our next Python for you, and this one has another gold, all gold thing going on. Gold seems to be the popular thing right now. This is the Gold Spirits Python. Next, we've got a sap for you, and this one has a very kind of carbon fiber look to it. This is the Sheathed Sap. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one has another kind of Aztec-y kind of theme. Nope, Mayan. There we go, with the Mayan sap. Throwing all sorts of different jewels at me here. Moving on, we've got another sap for you, and this one stares right back into your soul. This is the Flaming Eyes. And, man, I mean, don't really have any skins like this in Rust. There's a few kind of similar kind of looks. So this would definitely be a very unique skin to pop in to this shop. And I can't talk. And there we have a black versus orange for the sights. Next, we've got a custom SMG, and it has a little diver versus a shark thing going on with the periscope SMG. Definitely has also kind of a rusty, used look to it, which fits right into rust. And there's that reload. Then we have a Thompson for you. This one should look pretty familiar, as we showed the art on this not too long ago. It is part of the Massacre set, and I think it fits the Thompson quite well, and they fit in some scratches there on the barrel up front. Aiming down the sights, you got a red tip to the black sight. Next up, some MP5s, and the first one here has a nice kind of beat-up military look to it, which I think a lot of people like. This is the hunting camo MP5. When you aim down the sights, you've got the camo versus a white and black tip. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one here has this crazy, like, monster's teeth. It's simply just called Om Nom Nom Nom. And, well, there you have it. Aiming down the sights here, it's not too much going on. It's kind of a weird mesh of colors, but there is a black tip to kind of, you know, pull a little bit from that worn down sight. Next, we've got some SARs for you, and this first one has this skeleton of a fish on it, along with some other little imagery. This is the Bone Raid. I think they're definitely going with the Abyss theme, as you can see there on the mag. There's that same little skull kind of medallion look. Aiming down the sights, you've got a kind of darker tip to the silver there for the sight. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one is all cobalt themed, but also has kind of like a high-tech look to it. It's called a man dream, or a man's dream. I think maybe they forgot an S there. One way or another, you know, a man and his dream and a SAR and, you know, all that. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of a, it's almost a brown-black against the matted black color there. There's a little bit of a blue even in there, maybe. Moving on, we've got one more for you, and this one has this crazy kind of like skeleton crawling out of it at you. The whole thing looks crazy. It also looks like it might glow, so of course it does. So that's a bit of a downside for a gun at night as it hangs on your back, or is in your hand. It could give you away, but it definitely is a really, really cool effect. Moving on, we've got the first of our AKs for you, and this one is a coconut AK if you can't tell. And, yeah, I mean, there you go. Coconut AK. Next up, we've got a kind of leopard cheetah something print going on here. This is simply called the Safari AK, and this seems to also have been a theme. Spots or stripes, I don't know. Everyone kind of just went with that this week as well, which you'll see here shortly. We do have a red tip to the iron sights for this one. Then we've got this crazy looking AR. The whole thing just looks like it's some kind of like melted tar or something. This is the Dark Matter AR. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a bright red tip. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one has a kind of nice little arts drawing on it. It's the Bloody Sakura. Aiming down the sights here, there's a little kitty face, I think, and a red tip to the sights. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one's all silvery and shiny. This is the State of Mind AR, and yeah, it kind of has this confused looking little like anime character thing going on. Not really something Hulk likes at all. Don't know if this has a chance, but it's still a cool looking AK, so didn't want to skip over it. Next up, we've got another AR. I told you there's quite a few this week, and this one has a very construction feel. This is the Roll Cage AR. Comes in two versions, stocked and stockless. And aiming down the sights here, there's kind of like a yellow, but it changes color, as you can see. Kind of darker yellow versus the other yellow for the tip there. And there's that reload. Next, we have another stripy one for you. See, I told you you'd see later on, but this one's got this mean kind of tiger painted up on the side. Definitely a very cool artwork. Aiming down the sights, you've got simple red versus black for the sights. Next, we've got another stripy one. See, I told you there's so many striped ARs this week. This one here is the Chromed Leopard, and it definitely has a very beat up kind of AR look, and a faint red tip with that fading chrome. Next, we've got another very rusty AR for you. This one is the Wood Decimation. The whole thing looks like an old cobbled together, re-welded AK, and looks like they tried to maybe armor it up, and there's roots growing out of it. Definitely a lot going on, but very cool. Next, we've got another AR. I told you there was a lot. I keep saying that, and I mean it. This one is the Anime AR, and as you can see, it has like little shiny stars and a little frustrated mark there, and some other little silly faces. And aiming down the sights, you got a sparkly AK-47. So hey, you know, it's a vibe for some people there. Moving along, we've got another one for you, and this one has like a chain and kind of an old welded kind of look going on with it. This is the Asylum AR. Aiming down the sights, you've got a kind of iron sight versus a little bit of a black tip there, as you can see. And finally, for our last AK this week, but not least, we've got the Avalanche AR, and this has a very kind of new kind of look to it, but it has a little bit of a worn kind of thing going on. You've got some bandage wraps attached to it here and there. Definitely fits rust quite well. And there's that reload. Next, we've got one LR for you this week, and it has a very kind of, I'd say, esports look to it. This is the Ignite LR. Definitely has those orange and grays that a lot of other games you can see have with their kind of basic skin setups that a lot of times don't really make it into rust. So this is kind of a nice little in between. It's not as e-sporty, but it has kind of a faded, more rust feel. Aiming down the sights there, you can see you've got the orange versus the iron and the camo. And we'll pop a reload there. And last but not least, we do have a Balti, and it's part of the Redemption set, which has been very popular, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this one actually make it into the shop. Aiming down the sights here, you do have a red versus black for the sights if you want to do some iron sights Balti sniping. But that's going to do it there. Sound off down in the comment section below. As always, everyone, I love hearing back from you. Any kind of feedback you have for me or for the devs, I'll try to get to the right people. As always, thanks for watching, stay rusty, and have a good one.